What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. And in today's cut we will be doing a shadow fade, and what I mean by that is we're going to take this down to a no guard on the bottom. It's going to be very short and going to give off the appearance of a drop fade, but it's going to be just long enough, and the hair at the bottom is going to be just long enough that we can take the FX trimmers, put a nice sharp line around his ear and then down that neckline, and so it'll have the outline of a taper, but the length and the look of a drop fade. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and really saturate the hair down up top, section it off. We're going to do a little bit of block graduation, and we're going to start with the vertical section down the middle. And I have this the top area really sped up quite a bit. That wasn't necessarily the focus of this video. We're going to come through, make sure that we point cut everything, because of course his hair is curly, so we still want it to have texture. That way it can curl back up even though we're taking off quite a bit of length. So we're going to do this vertical section down the middle, taking off at least 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches. Pull off to the side from that middle section as a guide, and then we'll do the weight around the outside. I'll add a little bit of texture spray. We'll use the diffuser attachment on the blow dryer and get it back to dry so that we can see how that weight up top is going to lay, and we'll get right into the fade. So with all this length up top and the eventual curls that will come back in once we wet it down and then use the diffuser attachment, what I'm trying to do here is leave enough length in the transition area from the sides to the top that area will curl up into the top, but it won't be long enough to where it hangs over like an undercut. So the guard of choice here is going to be a closed 6 guard with that metal magic clip, and we're going to make sure that we come up through here, and every stroke that we take, once we get up to that area, you're going to make sure that that hair really feeds evenly through this guard and gets cut evenly through the blade. And you're going to use your comb, constantly comb that length back down, really float that guard through there. Whatever direction the hair is wanting to grow, make sure that you go against it. If not, the hair is just going to want to kind of feed through the blade, and it's not going to want to cut evenly. And then what I'm doing as far as fading down, you guys know that I fade down on everything. I didn't go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm actually skip guarding on my way down. So I had a 6 guard open to do the removal of the bulk on the sides. Now what I've got here is an open 4 guard, and we're just flicking up into where we left off with that closed 6. And then what we'll do is we'll drop down as usual, and we will do an open 2 guard, and we'll go all the way down to the base. Really remove a lot of that bulk, clean up his C-cup, and we're going to flick up into that 4 guard. Now what we can do here in a minute, and what we will do, is we'll come in and we'll do a little bit of detail work. But instead of doing a full section all the way down through there of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're just going to skip down through there, do a nice rough draft, and then come back in, do a little bit of detail work, and continue on. So we just hit a few spots there with that 1.5. Now I've got the 1 guard, and I actually have it closed, and we're just really exaggerating that flicking motion up into that 2 guard that we just did. And from here, this will allow us to use a no guard and open and close that lever. And this is what will get us down to the drop fade look, especially with his hair being a little bit blonder and lighter at the bottom, but it's still going to be long enough to be able to take the FXs and put a sharp line down the neckline and then around his ear. And the clipper that I use for that open section and the no guard section is the one that I just mentioned in my most recent video about my tools and my station. This is a Wahl magic clip. I have a ceramic standard cutting blade, and the actual steel blade that I have on here is the Auster fast feed blade. And the reason I did that was just trying it out. I had the clipper laying around. I have the metal magic clips. I didn't have a need for necessarily 2 magic clips. And I liked, back when I used it, the open section for the fast feed. I felt like the actual teeth on the steel blade for the fast feed allowed for the clipper to be more open. You can get closer to a full 1 guard with a no guard on there and just having the lever wide open. So that's what we went with. and that got us down to that length that's going to allow us to give the look that we're going for, but still leave enough length to hit it with the FX trimmers. Now, same steps on this side, 6, 4, 2, and then from there we'll go ahead and start detailing it out and then get the open section at the bottom there. So there's a spot right here in the middle just above his ear that gave me a little bit of trouble. It's a swirl. I don't know if it's from bedhead. So I was trying to go down with the growth of the hair. I was going opening and closing the lever, trying to get the look of this spot to match up with the rest of the fade. It gave me a little bit of trouble for sure. It's right there, right in that area where I just hit. Eventually I'm hitting it even more with the 2-guard here. And we're just using the corners, flicking up through there. I don't want to dig in too much, and then obviously, gap him right in the middle of the side of his fade, because that would cause way more problems than the solution. Does not need to be worse than the problem. So that would have been a bad thing to do, would be to dig in there. But we're basically cleaning it all the way down to the base here, and then we can come in with the 1-guard, flick up into this, and then of course get back in with that Oster fast feed and do that open section at the bottom, just as we did on the other side. You know how it is, we got to keep things consistent. What you do to one side, you should do to the other side, and you should have a nice consistent end result every time. So the way I determined where I was actually going to do this closed no guard section, I just basically went to the bottom of his C cup. I arched it just over his ear, just above where his actual natural lineup around his ear would be, and then we dropped it down in the back. And like I said, with that fast feed blade on here, even with the ceramic blade, I have it set to where it is as open as possible. So even as a closed no guard, this hair was still long enough to get the FXs on it. And then what we're doing here is a little bit of detail work using the Andy's purple 1-guard to just flick up into that top. We want to make sure that we leave a lot of this area just above where I'm at right now, long enough to really grab a hold when we use that diffuser attachment, which we will do here shortly. And as far as the back goes, like I said, you want to make sure that you're floating that guard through that transition area. I want his crown area to be able to grab a hold as well with that diffuser and curl up with the top just like it should. But we're going to do the same thing, skip guard your way down through there, use that no guard at the bottom, drop it down, and then you can get in with the FXs and go ahead and put you a nice sharp lineup. That's where you come in with the shadow fade appearance, but long enough for a taper or a very, very low taper at the bottom, however you want to call it. So here we're just going to go ahead and finish off the blend in the back with the 1-guard, and then take out this very bottom line with either the half guard or the 0-guard. I can't quite remember. The half guard's a new guard to my station. But then we added a little bit of texture spray, like I said, and we're using the diffuser attachment on my Dyson. Guys, you don't have to have a Dyson to be able to have this diffuser attachment. A lot of blow dryers either come with a diffuser attachment, or you can actually find universal diffuser attachments for any blow dryer. So I highly recommend you guys take a second if you don't have one. Look that up, see if your particular blow dryer has a universal end that you can buy. And here, like I said, guys, we've got it taken all the way down. It looks like a drop fade, but it's just long enough we can get the FXs on here. Use the corners of our blade just to make a nice sharp semicircle and then a straight line down his neck there. And that about does it for this tutorial, guys. Make sure you hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what you thought. I thought it was a pretty big transformation. He was well overdue for a haircut. Guys, I was doing a review of the analytics of the channel, and it appears that 65% of my viewers are not subscribed, so I'm pleading to those 65% of you that are watching but not subscribed. Do me a huge solid, hit that subscribe button, you know who you are. Turn on that notification bell that way you get updated every time I post a new video. Sunday and Wednesday is the schedule as always. 2 videos a week to you, I promise. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and until the next video, guys, y'all know I appreciate it. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, guys. And we'll be at this again in 2021. We're going to keep grinding.